Hello everyone, I'm Nathan Coe. Today we're going to be talking a lot about Mike Pence, as I'm currently outside of my dorm and I'm in a different setting. There are a lot of random beeps in the background for some reason. I don't know why, but I guess we'll have to deal with it, and that'll be just like that. And that'll be fixed in the next video. Essentially what's been happening recently in American national politics is Donald Trump basically came out with a statement that said, hey, Mike Pence, you had the right to not certify the election results on January 6th. Now, usually these type of comments and statements from Donald Trump just fly by. Liberals call him out and say, hey, Donald Trump, that's not okay, that's wrong, immoral, authoritarian, cultish, etc., and just flies over because no one in the Republican Party really pushes back, maybe except for someone like Mitt Romney or Lisa Murkowski. However, this time, it's a little more interesting because former Vice President Mike Pence, who was never pro overturning the election, but never really came out so strongly against what happened on January 6th, this time had a pretty strong critique against what Donald Trump said. Essentially, he was there in Florida for some type of meeting, some type of speaking event, in which he said that January 6th was a dark day in American history. He also said that he had to certify the election results and etc. This was a pretty large shock for some because Mike Pence has been avoiding this issue for quite some time, hasn't really talked too much about it, hasn't confronted Trump too much about it, but he said this time that him and Trump probably won't see each other eye to eye in the near future, which kind of shows how damaged their relationship really is ever since what happened on January 6th. Now, this has led to some backlash with Donald Trump and Steve Bannon saying, hey, Mike Pence, what the hell? This isn't cool. And what has been surprising, though, is how some Republicans did come out with support for Mike Pence, which is surprising only because of the fact that the Republican Party, even under President Joe Biden, has turned more into a Trump loyalist party as time goes on. Senator Marco Rubio basically came out and said, hey, what Mike Pence did on January 6th was correct and what he had to do. Former New Jersey governor and person who failed to become president, Chris Christie, also came out and said, Mike Pence, what you did was correct. This is a little refreshing because just hearing Republicans support someone who critiqued Donald Trump is usually very rare, even if Donald Trump says something like, you have the right to not certify the fair election results. What I've kind of took some issue with is how certain people, some moderates, some liberals, have came out with support for Mike Pence, saying that what he did was courageous. May have been a little courageous. I mean, being a Republican, saying that being the former Republican vice president, saying that you had to certify the election results, and also condemning the insurrection is kind of courageous. But at the same time, the fact that we kind of have to praise that shows how degenerating our current American political sphere is, because saying something like one person can't decide who the president is going to be is just like saying 2 + 2 = 4 or the sky is blue. It really shouldn't be praised that heavily. So the fact that that's our current national dialogue is a little disappointing, but something we'll have to deal with continuously, to be honest. Now, one thing to note basically with this Mike Pence situation is that you could probably see something similar with Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and these people who want to run in 2024, people who they're just really debating whether or not they should be completely pro-Trump, or they should, appeal with a more conservative, more not completely Trump loyalist base of the Republican Party. That has been the line that many Republicans have struggled with, especially when it looks like Donald Trump's going to run in 2024. So it's really hard for candidates like Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley to decide, hey, should I just criticize Donald Trump now if I'm going to run against him, even though a lot of Republicans completely support what happened on January 6th and Donald Trump. That has been the tough dilemma. It looks like Mike Pence has already decided his mind on that issue, and that's something to continue to take a look on, not just on Mike Pence, but like I said, on people like Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and others I think that will be really interesting to take a look at. There's a lot of things happening in American politics. I know this YouTube channel hasn't been the most active. However, I'm going to try my best in the next couple of weeks to update you on what has been happening. It's really important to take a close look at what has been happening, especially with 2022 midterms coming up, with a lot of things happening at the national scale, and also 2024 coming up. So please stay intrigued, and yeah, thank you so much for listening to this video. I'll see you next time. Thank you.